Hello, hello. Welcome back, everybody. And hopefully, it should be that this is the first time we're streaming on Twitter as well, hopefully. So we can double check that. But it seems like we are back live on YouTube, etc. So that is all good. So, yeah, welcome back to another live stream. And today we're going to be, as mentioned in there, of course, as always, answering you guys' questions, but also discussing this two episode Battle for the Rings of Power that we're going to be seeing and covering all the latest news. But joining me, we have an array of lovely, lovely people, starting all the way to the left. Kathy, hello there.
Hi.
Great to have you on. Great to have you on. We've also got Dee back again.
Hello, thanks for having me.
Yep, great to have you on. And also for the first time, we have our editor, Ulmo, who is also here and is in fact, you can't see his icon on screen because his camera is on, but you'll be able to hear him. So say hello, my friend.
Hello, hello. I'm here.
Great. Yep. Great to have you on. And yeah, so let's let's get this started right up. Let's of course hello to everybody in chat as well. Hi Dihimovic, hi Gandalf, and hello to everybody. So okay, looks like we have actually successfully gone live on Twitter by the looks of it. So that is very, very good news. So okay, and enough of that now though. Let's just get right into it. So we first heard about this two episode battle all the way back in 2022 with the showrunners, where it says literally right here, the large windowless room's centerpiece is a lengthy conference table where your eyes are immediately transfixed by what's covering the walls. Concept artists surrounded there for season two, and they're walking through with the Hollywood Reporter a lot of interesting things, and the plans to include a massive two-episode battle. And so that's officially how much we all know about, how much we know about it. But of course, there's been quite a few leaks and scoops here and there.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Wow, this crazy Twitter got 142 people watching us. Pretty crazy. Sorry, that's a side thing. But yeah, and then let's go in chronologically. Of course, guys, it's mentioned in the title, but there are spoilers ahead. But D, I start off with you. What's your initial thoughts when you saw this?
Yeah, this was really cool to see. If I remember right, isn't this the same set we saw maybe earlier in the year where there was a statue
Yes.
that was kind of destroyed?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that got me really intrigued. We're kind of seeing a Region, if I remember right, kind of in disarray. So I guess it's signaling that the battle's about to get pretty intense.
And Kathy, do you want to shed more light? I'll also try find it as well. That the original versions of the statue and of Eregion.
I have a question before I start with comments. Are we going to see more details, or this is the only thing? Because I can give some breakdown of the details that I remember from that scene
Yeah, just go
because
through
I
everything.
studied
Yeah,
it so much. Yeah.
yeah. So go for it.
Okay, so the big deal about this scene is that they ransacked scripts in the library or something, and like it seems that they were looking for something, probably the rings. So you can see them scattered all over the place, and there is a dead elf who doesn't look like a combatant, but more like a civilian. And yes, of course, Fëanor's statue is demolished. You can also see that they used probably some type of cannon or balls that damaged the roofs. So yeah, it's pretty intense, like we'll see.
Indeed, indeed. And I will also get up. I'm trying to find right now the other photos from it. But yep, also hi to the chat as well. Great to see you all here, and thank you for having almost 250 people in here, which is pretty crazy. But yep, Uma, I'll go with you now. So do you think, because as mentioned in chat, interestingly, are you ready to see me being epic? Do you think we will see Sauron on these sets?
I mean, that's a good question. There's a lot of possibilities. There's a thing, and we don't have any information whatsoever. So it's a good and bad thing. The fact that it's a 2 episode battle means that we probably are going to have a lot that we're going to see. I'm kind of hoping, I mean, to give a bit of a comparison to Game of Thrones, there was this, I forgot which season it was, I think 5 or 6, but the battle on the wall. I think that's kind of the vibe that I'm getting. Obviously, if you read the books and if you know about the region, it's not going to end well with elves. But yeah, I don't know whether we're going to actually see Sauron. Maybe a version of him, maybe just a silhouette, maybe just the fact that he's like there's a presence, there's something bigger and darker behind it. But him actually on the battlefield, that might be actually a bit questionable in my opinion.
Indeed, indeed, fair. Kathy, any thoughts on that, or what almost said with Sauron
Oh,
appearing there?
absolutely, he's going to be there because we know for sure that his right hand man, Adar, is going to be there, and the boss can be far behind. So I'm 100% sure that we are going to see Sauron in the battle. And I'm not a big lore, I mean, like, I'm not big in lore, like Strider. So I don't know if it's canonical that he appeared in the battle, but like I said, like his right hand man is there, so the boss can be far behind.
Indeed, indeed, indeed. And I know before we had mentioned that there was going to be a lot of action on here, because again, here is the where is it? One sec. So we go from there, then look, everyone, that's the statue gone, and you can see that it's pretty much ransacked. So something is happening here, and from what here's a bird's eye view of it. Do you D, I'll go to you, and then of course we'll go to the chat afterwards. Um, Also, I just saw this. Are you still confident about someone in black and gold armor doing battle? We did hear about that, and still pretty confident. Yes, that is true. But yeah, how do you think visually this will look, this battle?
I'm hoping. I think I've heard it in a stream before that it could be equivalent to Helm's Deep, um, based on like kind of siege and all that. So it'd be cool to see similarities to there. Maybe the weather is going to be a little bit nicer. Maybe it's not going to be like storms and rain like Helm's Deep depicted in Peter Jackson's. But I could see a lot of that. And I don't know if I'm going on a tangent here, but brushing up on my lore, definitely people in the chat correct me if I'm wrong here. But if we're having the siege of Eregion, I believe that means all the rings of power have to be created, because that's why they're coming here to, ransack it basically. So that must mean this season we're getting all the creations of the rings. So that's kind of an interesting point, that we'll potentially see that
Mhm.
this season too.
Exactly, exactly, exactly. And the creation things rings actually something I want to pinpoint now. So, of course, from the lore, Ulmo Celebrimbor, he doesn't give up the location of the three elven rings and gets tortured and killed for it. Do you think that is something that should be something that's basically happening here? Do you think?
I mean, lore wise, it should, but it's still Amazon. I don't think they're going to go down the road of what we know in the books. You know, the whole torturing thing and the fact that it's going to be impaled and all of that. It's a bit too dark for Amazon. Although in the new Fallout TV show, they have been doing pretty gory stuff, but it's not the same production, so I would not go down the road of it being very dark and grim in that sense. Although, yeah, lore wise, it should be. I think they're going to torture him. Maybe it's going to happen off screen. Maybe you're going to hear a few screams here and there, or just to hint towards the possibility of that happening. But that's just a window. That's not really. They have way too much to do.
No, I agree, I agree, I agree. And um, it should be pretty much relevant because, from what I understand, the three Elven Rings will be a big center point in season 2. And I think we can. This is I don't think this will ever release this officially, anyways. But from what I remember, Kathy, wasn't there a part where Kidan is going to be quite angry at Gladriel and Elrond or something like that?
Yes.
something
Yeah,
along
yeah,
those lines. Do you want to?
that's what we heard. Yes, yeah, and it should happen in like early episodes, maybe episode one. So yes.
But again, won't confirm that, and we'll leave it at that for now. But moving on. So, of course, there's a 2 episode battle, as we mentioned back here. 2 episode battle, and I think there is, from what I understand, another battle in season 2 as well that is separate from this 2 episode battle. And the question is, and Dio, start off to you. Do you think it is linked to Kidan? It is linked to Galadriel getting captured, that scoop that we had.
I think that makes sense, depending on which way they go with this story. Especially if there's a 2 episode arc, they probably have to leave the first episode of the battle with some kind of cliffhanger. So I could see something like that, like maybe she's captured by the end of the first episode, and then by the second episode, some kind of resolution to that. So maybe that's what they're trying to accomplish. But I'm assuming they got to end the first episode with something very interesting, cliffhangery, if I had to guess.
Oops, I've done it again where I'm muted while I'm trying
I
to speak.
couldn't hear you.
Having a lovely little conversation myself. But no, going back to season this scoop, and the other thing we released that Galadriel at one point is even in a cage and the orcs are poking her with the spears. So I feel like there's something that's going to happen here. And if so, I know Dee already given your thoughts, but Uma, do you think this could be something that, with the fact that there could be 2 separate battles in season 2, this could be something related between, as I scroll down, these 2, even though it's going to be played by Sam Hazeldine now, Adar? Do you think these 2 are going to be causing a battle in season 2? What do you think?
Lore-wise, Elrond eventually joins in Eregion, right?
Yeah.
Maybe the reason why he's so late is because he wants to help Galadriel get freed first. I mean, to me, that would be a pretty reasonable explanation behind it, other than just we're late and although he's not a wizard, but um, to me that could be a reasoning behind it and a way to link it and to make it a bit more interesting, I suppose. And as well, I guess that Galadriel would be showing up at Eregion as well at some points too. So just a way to connect every dots in a way.
Indeed. And adding on to that, Kathy, do you remember that now for season 2, Selena Lowe's character, we mentioned that she's going to be she's going to be part of the battle charge, right?
Yes.
Let's even, actually, you quickly take over for me while I get that up.
Yes, Selena Law is going to be in the battle charge, and she's also going to be on a horse. So,
Well,
I'm
big
really
news. She's in the battle and she's on a horse.
Yes,
Like, what?
yeah, she's going to be on a horse. And like I said, like in one of those earlier videos that we did for Second Age, I'm happy to see another female warrior elf. So that Galadriel isn't just the only one, like curiosity, but like it's more like cultural thing, like so. I'm very excited to see Selena Lowe, because if you've seen her Instagram page, it's great. She is such a pro with stunts. She's so beautiful. So I hope that they utilize it.
No, definitely. And we know there's going to be a big battle charge as well, so it'll be interesting to see. Because yeah, what's your thoughts in season 1, D, of that battle charge at Osterith? I think it was, from what I remember. Yeah, how do you think that they should try one up that for season 2?
Great
Which one?
question.
Sorry, to
Sorry.
D.
Is that the one where like they had the chain where they kind of mowed down
Yeah.
a bunch of Okay. Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. It was definitely, I feel like, a relatively fast battle, so I hope we get kind of extended scenes of battle, because that might add to the weight of the characters and the stress they're in, where like that battle went by so quick, we're like, okay, like they're safe. They defeated well, I guess they were captured at the end of that one, but Yeah, when the Numenorians came, they kind of saved the day. So yeah, I would like to see it
Yeah.
stretched out a bit, add more drama.
Drama, 100%, 100%. And talking about horses, it would have been perfect if I had that picture up. We don't have it up, but instead we have what we released a few days ago. Look at this right here. Ulmo, do you want to quickly go through this and let us know, give us a little breakdown of this? Of course, we know it's orcs and, elves look like they're just hanging out, having fun.
I mean, yeah, it just sounds like a break on a set, to be honest. I don't know. Yeah, it's just a break between the action scenes, I'm guessing, which means that they're actually having fun. That's good. Yeah, I like the outfits. They make me think a bit about the prologue scene in the Lord of the Rings, with the one with Elrond. So maybe that's actually what Elrond is going to use for outfits eventually, and that's going to be somewhat linked up with what we already know in the Lord of the Rings. At least we know that those elves have long hair, so I think some fans are going to be relatively happy. At least the one on the right has long hair, so that's good.
And one thing we can confirm from this, from people there, is that I think pretty much nearly every elf on this shoot had long hair. So that's for people who, like long hair. And there's a big discourse about it. For me, it's nothing that's like the end of the world or anything, but I know it's quite a big thing in the fandom. So if that makes you happy, then yeah, that's the information that most people on this did, in fact, have long hair. And now let's quickly go back to here because I wanted to actually oops, sorry, 1 second, sorry for that. Let's get this back up here. There we go. So for this one, once I go over this overshot here,
Where is it?
where is it?
Yeah,
Oh,
where's the
oops,
picture?
sorry.
It's just us.
1 second, guys. 1 second, guys. There you go. Remember, it's been so long since we've last been streaming, so it's
Yeah,
been
it's
quite
fine.
a while. But yeah, so Kathy, you want to go over and talk to this your theory you've had about the riverbed and them draining it out. Do you want
Actually,
to?
Ken is an expert in riverbed, but yes, the idea is that we think that because of the mud surrounding the walls and some boats stranded in the mud, that the riverbed was drained on purpose. Maybe, obviously, not the whole of the river, but probably the part of it. And there were also like some planks on the mud, as if somebody put them so they can, like run on it, like can walk on it, like. And so it looks pretty deliberate, like it didn't look like, okay, it was raining in UK on that day and that's why the mud is surrounding the set. No, it looked really deliberate. And also you could see the water level on the wall. So obviously, like some draining took place.
And if you just give me a moment, um I will actually quickly get it up here 1 second to illustrate Kathy's point. As they load, because as you remember, someone during 2023 last year was going right around Butter Steep Studios and got some more pictures around that. So we'll see. We'll just wait for that to load there. So I'll come back to that. But if we go back here, also look, it's Varkin's on the screen. Hello, friend. What is this, a 20v1? Yes, but all the sneak dissing doesn't really matter when, it's all brilliant like this. So, yeah, great to see you, brother. So, yeah, cool. We've made it this far. So, what else do we know about this 2 episode battle while we wait for that to load? So, we know that these people are going to be on it, but we also heard that Aronde is going to be at this battle. So, Ulmo, what are your thoughts on that? How do you think he will link to all this?
Yeah, okay, that's actually interesting because I'm guessing that this is going to be the first time where we see all the characters in the same spots, all the main characters except maybe the doors. So
Maybe. True.
I'm sorry, Varking. Um,
For
but I think that it's going to be a possibility where we see a lot of the main characters that we've seen in season one, because the season one was mostly establishing, right? We didn't really see the characters interact with each other. But this one is going to be definitely interesting to see Arondir in the fight, and I hope we see some cool Legolas like or Arondir like battles that we saw in season one.
Indeed, indeed. And we know that also from the same scoop that Awande and Isildur are going to be in the same storyline, of course, with Neotal Estrid. So, do you think D Isildur will show up to the Battle of Eregion? That's a bit of a crazy thing at first, and I know there'll be people who have lots of different opinions on it. But yeah, what's your stance on that? Awande showing, sorry, Isildur showing up at the 2 episode battle.
Oh God, I don't want people to yell at me. I think if I had to guess, what could be a cool storyline is they kind of left a sealed door, in that burning barn, basically. Maybe
hmm
Arondir's kind of doing some kind of scouting or something around Middle Earth and happens to stumble upon him somehow, and that's what leads them towards Eregion into the battle. So I could see it being plausible, at least. It
Yeah.
would be an interesting because we got to get Isildur to his father eventually. So I wonder how they're going to do that when he's kind of stuck in the middle of nowhere behind a
hmm
burning barn.
100%, 100%. And I will 100% get back to that. But I did see a good question here. It's not a question, it's a comment from Sauron, funny enough. Adar will slow down everyone's aid. It would be nice nod to the law. Henchmen going at each other, one of Gilgalad, other of Sauron. So yes, because we did mention, and I hold this to be true from what we understand, Adar versus Elrond will be a big feature season two. These two going at it, whether it's that I feel like potentially that's because they are both commanders of their army. So I feel like it'll be interesting to see that. And Ulmo, we haven't heard from you in a bit. I'll go back to you. What do you think about this dynamic that we're potentially going to see between Adar and Elrond?
I think it's definitely interesting, especially character-wise, because in the first season we've seen that Elrond is very against the whole fighting thing, and he doesn't want Galadriel to be in a situation where she fights. So him fighting Adar I mean, I'm guessing that he's going to win or he's going to be even out. Um, I would say that it would prove his points, and that he would be going to Galadriel and be like, "See, I told you so, and you should listen to me more often." And it doesn't mean that it doesn't really matter that you've lived for thousands of years and I'm still a kid, so to speak. But you should listen to my wisdom because, I mean, listen wise.
Good. Fair enough. Fair enough. Kathy, I know you wanted to comment something quickly about Arondir.
Yes, I have a theory how he might link up with Irigion. We know that Halbrand is operating in the Southlands and trying to get supporters. We actually reported about him giving speeches in the company of Adar, Amelia Kenworthy character, who is most likely going to be an evil elf, and Zait's Yasen Atur, who is also playing a non-human, but we don't have the information like what kind of non-human, but they're all his a posse. So I think that Arondir is going to go to Eregion to warn them what's happening. Like it's possible that Sauron is going to attack from like different sides, And I think that's how he is going to link up with them, like warn them that, Halbrand, aka Sauron, is operating in the Pelagir area in Southlands, and that he's most likely turning men against elves. So that's my theory, that he's giving some kind of anti-elf speech. And we also reported that Charlie Vickers was training for dictatorship type of speech. So yes, it's probably not a good news for the elves.
Mm-hmm. Indeed, indeed, indeed. And it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. And also, mentioned here, Arondo and Oregon equals a lot of references to Legolas in Helm's Deep, which is very, very interesting.
Oh,
And
sorry.
sorry, go ahead,
Speaking of
go ahead.
Helm's Deep, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I have an exclusive for our viewership. We know for sure that Amazon does not like that comparison. So we've heard, yes,
Kathy,
they don't like that
Kathy,
comparison at
we're
all.
not,
We don't know why, but they don't like it. So probably they want it to stand on its own, and I understand that. Just that's the exclusive.
Kathy, all right.
But hey, we have to reward our
Yeah,
viewership with something,
yes,
So that's the news.
too fair.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, also thank you that we nearly have 700 people watching us right now on all across Twitter and YouTube. So that's really appreciate all that. But okay, now let's see if these photos have loaded. Okay, looks like they have not, but we'll just wait on that. But in the meantime, I feel like the final thing actually nope, here we go. Um, so if you guys remember from one of our scoops, there's gonna be a really funny, not funny, really interesting moment between Adar, Elrond, one of the big orc chieftains, and a trebuchet. So I think the interesting here, who do you think is being sent over into to the walls of Oregon with that trebuchet? For me, my best guess is the orc chief, but any of you have anything different?
That would be a pretty funny scene to see.
Mm-hmm. I feel that'd be a funny one to look back on.
I mean, I think it's Tom Bombadil, but
Tom, oh wow! Imagine Tom Bombadil shows up at the battle.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so as you can see, trebuchets are here, and if that's how far, there we go. We can see it here as well. Here we go. This is what I was looking for. This is what Kathy's mentioning earlier, with these
Yeah.
walls being drained, everything like that. This is going to be a big battle, season 2. They're upping their game because for season 1, of course, that battle wasn't the biggest. I think it's fair to say, of course, being in New Zealand and all the restrictions, COVID, everything, stuff like that. It ended up now seeing season 2, and they've had more of a chance. This is actually, don't want to dox myself, like, but I'm pretty sure this is like 3-4 minutes from where I live as well. So yeah, I remember this all happening about 2 years, 1.5 years now ago now. But yeah, what do we see here, Kathy? I feel like, I know, if we can zoom in a bit, we see a lot of
Yeah,
dead
those
people.
are the boats that I mentioned previously, that they're stranded, and then of course you can see like whatever planks or something, like that they can walk on, and obviously they raised ladders, and you can actually see some dead people, like in the background, so probably orcs, maybe some wild men, who knows. But if you can just go back to the previous one, I just want to comment on something on the previous picture. Yes. Okay,
This one?
perfect. Yes, that one.
Yeah.
So if you zoom into the forest, you can see
The
dead
forest.
elves in
Oh yes,
shiny
you're right.
silver armor. So I think
Let
it's a
me try
linden
get in on
armor.
that
You see?
one.
Oh, sorry, I keep,
Yes, no,
you know,
Irregonian,
pointing, like yes. So go back into the you can see dead elf dummies in silver armor that is probably linden armor, looks like linden. And you see those pillows above them. It seems to me that they were jumped because those pillows seem like thing for stuntmen who jump on it, like for
Yep.
safety purposes. And Nikki also said in one of our videos that it's possible because like yes, they use that for stunt work. So it seems to me that Lyndon elves came to help, and then they were jumped by orcs, I suppose. Like so that's why they are like dying, lying dead on the ground. And
Yeah, I
also,
agree.
we know that in episode 4, Lyndon elves are marching out of Lyndon. So,
Yep.
where they're marching, most likely here's to Eregion.
Yep. And I feel like this is as decent enough I can zoom in. Um,
Yeah,
here's
yeah,
an
yeah.
interesting
It's
thing. You
visible.
can
It's fine.
see,
Like once you
yep.
know where to look. Yeah.
As you can see here, look, you see the mark of Sauron and
Yes.
his
Yeah.
side. And this interesting thing, I'll go D to you. So we know Adar's going to be leading this force, but they're doing it under the banner of Sauron. Isn't that quite interesting, you think? What do you think the dynamic between Sauron and Adar is going to be in season 2?
Whoa, that is a great connection. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
so there's gonna somehow. Well, I guess okay. So Charlie Vickers' character seemed to have some kind of rift with
Yeah.
Adar, but that doesn't mean necessarily that he has a rift with Sauron. Or wow, kind of tongue tied right now. Because yeah,
Sorry,
I guess
I'll give no. If Uma, do you have anything to say, and we'll come back to you.
Yeah, I think that the relationship between Adar and Charlie Vickers slash Sauron is definitely not the healthiest, at least not at the beginning of the second season. They need to patch things up, maybe couple therapy or something. Um, but yeah, once that gets out of the way, maybe they get on the same foot pedal. And although the ideology of both characters are completely different, because Sauron clearly sees orcs as slaves, and Adar sees them as brothers or compatriots or brother in arms. So it's not really the same kind of dynamic that they have. So that might be
Mm-hmm.
interesting to see why Adar is eventually going to side with or alongside Sauron. Maybe he's doing so reluctantly, you don't know. Maybe he's giving out an ultimatum in a way or another. So yeah. Or he just the promise of killing Galadriel, who knows? You know.
True.
He's a simple
Interesting.
man or elf.
Indeed, indeed. Yep. D, back to you. Did you get time to think of anything? I know it's quite a interesting thing to really look at 'cause they
yeah,
hate each other. Do you think there must be a showdown or face-off between them before um we go before maybe it gets there's a resolution and then he ends up, maybe Sauron gets the better of him.
I could see that. I see a lot of shows and movies do that where there is some kind of conflict and maybe they reach a stalemate or something. Or, I mean, Sauron's very corrupting, so he could manipulate a situation where he finds a way of manipulating him and saying something like maybe he's promising Adar Eregion once it's captured. So join us and we'll give you Eregion.
Ooh, very good point.
Nice.
Um, do you think that would be? But at the same time, would it be like how much do they do to destroy it? How much of that is afterwards? Worth that prize? But I could be if they maybe because then it would be actually no. I think it's a good race. I think that's an interesting thing actually. Of course, stuff like that. In fact, is stuff. Of course, with the show, they've sometimes meandered a bit crazily in some directions. But like, of course, when you're making a television show based on adapting a work like this, you have to take some liberty, have to explain some stuff sometimes, and maybe adding that, oh, Sauron would have offered a region to Adar if he led the army, something like that. I feel like something that could work in a show. I feel like there's the changes or tweaks you make which enhances the story and doesn't really take it back. Of course, stuff like Summer Mithril and all that, creation of whatever is stuff that, of course, you'd prefer not to have, but stuff like that and what you mentioned is quite interesting. So yeah, thanks for that. Um, but yeah, again, I'll Kathy, can you take over for a minute as well? Just going over this one more time before I actually pull up another set photo that we had released ages ago.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, I agree that they're going to reach some stalemate. I mean, like, they're not going to be friends. So probably Adar is going to look for the opportunity to backstab Sauron, which on one side is interesting. On the other side, like, you can't make Sauron too weak, otherwise, he won't work as an intimidating, like, powerful enemy. Like, you have to give him some wins. So we'll see how that's going to develop. But there is one canonic thing, and that's that orcs are left at Sauron's pretty boy look. So I don't know, maybe Sauron shows up in Mordor and he's like, "Yeah, I'm the boss now," and everyone's like, "Ha ha ha!" Like, you pretty boys, that's not gonna work. And he figures out that like, he needs Adar to control the orcs, and also orcs are, they call it our father, right? Like, so
Hmm.
it's much higher level of loyalty than like, just working from some boss. So it's not going to be easy for Sauron to actually win that army that he needs. So it's going to be interesting to see how he created that alliance with his enemy Adar. So yeah.
And I think reflective rambling, you mentions here in the YouTube chat, enemy of my enemy is of my friend.
Yeah, yeah,
Is an
yeah. I mean, like,
interesting
like,
way.
frenemy. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, frenemy. There we go. Yeah, indeed. So, yeah, we've covered that part now. On to this. Of course, we had um soldiers on this horse, of course. I think they're probably Linden soldiers. We mentioned that these are the same ones that, as you could see, I think, where was it earlier here? It's the same one, same type of costume that is them dead at the bottom over there. So there seems to be a link between the two. And going on about that, I feel like it's interesting to see, first of all, how this armor looks. I know there was a big discussion. I'd mentioned, someone mentioned to me in the Vegetable Fans Discord, which you should always make sure to go check out. And first of all, thank you to everybody in that Discord for always the support, and appreciating, and always discussing stuff like that. So yeah, shout out to all you guys. Really appreciate that. I think there was a big discussion on there today about how these look, because isn't it interesting, Omar, that this actually quite looks Peter Jackson-y in a way, if that's even a term, Peter Jackson-y, these soldiers.
In a way, they do. They lack a bit of green, in my opinion, compared to
Mhm.
the Peter Jackson one, and I think gold too. At least the horses don't, but the soldiers definitely do. But yeah, I like the outfits, and again, they have long hair, so I think there's a lot of people that are going to appreciate it, or diehard fans that are going to otherwise be angry and upset about Elrond having short hair. Maybe who knows? Maybe even Elrond has a growth spurt, or he goes to Turkey in Middle Earth and finds longer hair. So I don't know. We'll try to see how it goes. But I like the outfit. I like it. It's a bit. It's not complicated by itself. It doesn't give me the vibe of it being oversimplistic, but it doesn't give me the vibe of it being too easy either. That's what I mean.
Mm-hmm. That's actually a good point as well. Do you anything else to add?
Definitely gives me Peter Jackson prologue vibes, and kind of a comment based on some of the previous set photos where it's pretty vast. Um, when I think of the prologue episode in, like, episode 1, where they depict the battle with Finrod, that is a pretty large scale battle, and it was a nice teaser for what's to come. Hopefully, Battle of the Last Alliance, but it'd be nice to see that scale even for the Battle of Eregion. So, two episode battle, be really cool to see
Mhm.
large scale battle.
Yep. And of course, Kathy, with season one, the costuming, do you think that was a big debate there around some people quite liked it, some people didn't quite like it? Do you think this is maybe an upgrade from season one's costuming?
You know what I mean, like it's a fantasy show based on medieval Europe, so it's not my fashion thing that, like I really love, like I love like Roman Empire, like and the Napoleon era and that kind of stuff, but like medieval and whatever, like. But somebody just commented about the hair and says like they're like um, uh, yeah, they're trying to pander to complaints about the long hair, like personally, I have nothing against short hair in Rings of Power, because it's 3,000 years before Lord of the Rings, like you can't have the same freaking hair and the same, like armor and dresses, like for 3,000 years, like it's such a static universe, like. So at least, like that little change with short hair showed some progression, like some historical development, like cultural development, something, like. So I'm not against it. I know it's an unpopular opinion, but like I'm fine with shorter hair, feathery hair, different hair, like 3,000 years ago. So yeah.
Interesting, interesting, interesting. That's fair. And we've mentioned a lot about this type of costume. What about this type of costume? These hooks. This looks pretty interesting, doesn't it? Do you see any similarities or differences between the hooks season one? To me, they seem a bit more kitted out now. A little bit more. They even got chainmail on underneath. You can see a little bit compared to season one, where they were um, basically just normal Orcs had been come back after the War of Wrath. They look a bit more kitted out this season, don't they?
Oh yeah, and I hate to do it, but linking back to Peter Jackson, these look a lot like those orcs that we've seen throughout those movies. And comment kind of similar to what I said in the last stream. It kind of this looks more like a scary orc, which is cool. Like I'd love to see more of that, where the orcs are actually terrifying. I like the humor and all that too, but it'd be nice to get some scary moments.
Yeah, indeed, indeed, indeed. And yeah, they do look pretty intense. And there's a question in chat: is Ben Daniels Kidan? Um, we're not really doing, as you could tell, probably from, of course, getting the sound of one wrong, for the rest of season two. We're not going to be doing any more, big or like releasing exclusives on which character plays actors, etc. But Kathy, what do you think? Do you think Ben Daniels might play Kidan? What do you think? Without, not giving a
Yeah, why
definitive
not?
answer.
I mean, like Kidan is supposed to be like a bearded, older
Yeah.
elf, right? Like, so any actor who hasn't been linked with certain role that we know, like could be Kidan. So that includes Ben Daniels.
Yep. I think the best way to say it is that Ben Daniels is a quite an interesting choice, and I would be surprised if he's not Kidan. That's as much as we'll say, because again,
Yeah.
even though we won't be doing special reveals, I'll be really, really, really surprised if Ben Daniels doesn't play Kidan. So if you don't know who he is, Ben Daniels, um, it is this guy. You've seen him in what's Foundation season 2, which has been terrific. Yeah. So yeah, this is most likely, um, without officially confirming it, going to be Kidan. So yeah, let us know if you're excited with that. So yeah, but we'll get back to these orcs and elves sharing a lovely meal. Um, see, the problem with this, I feel like characters like Kiriator, I don't think we'll see him. I really don't think, which is unfortunate, but of course, with the compressed timeline, we won't be seeing him. Um, so yeah, that is the thoughts on that. And I feel like, does anybody, while we go on this, have any final thoughts quickly on the 2-episode battle once I go back? I'll start with you, D.
Well, definitely looking forward to it. I guess now that I have this platform, I'd like to say to Amazon, if you could give us an official photo or a teaser trailer, that'd be awesome. I'm impatient,
Mhm.
but that's where I
Well,
stand.
I would. You know what? Fallout is over, and all I'm hearing is positive things about stuff maybe starting to ramp up a bit more about the Rings of Power season 2. So yeah, don't. I'd say I'd say we're at right now. We're actually gonna have an interesting update in the next few days about it, but we're at the end of the log wait. We're finally going to start get out there. We're about here. We're about to start getting back up again with anticipation, excitement, and potentially even promo for season 2 if that makes people feel um that better. Just about this, Orifer, fortunately, is not in season 2 from what we know. But yeah, not officially confirming that. But yeah. Um so yeah. Uh So, this is now what I wanted to talk about. Oh, sorry. First, sorry, Uma, your final thoughts on the battle?
There's one thing that I would like to see. It's I mean, it's referring to the Fellowship of the Ring. Um, it's there's this scene in the Fellowship of the Ring when they're in Moria, right? And you see the Fellowship being face to face with the goblins, and you see
Mhm.
the close-ups that they have on the goblins, like their reactions or the way that they're like excited or almost like eager to get into battle. And I think that is something that we kind of missed in season one of the Rings of Power. And if we could have a bit of a build-up, not as long or as tedious as in Helm's Deep. And don't get me wrong, I love Helm's Deep, but if we would have a bit of this raw and more brutal aspect and vision of it, would be kind of cool because I don't think they're as organized as the Orcs are in Helm's Deep.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, no, 100% organized. And you see, look, they've got a battering ram here, looks like, or something to open, to break. Oh, that's quite interesting. I know we talked about comparisons to Helm's Deep,
Yeah,
but
maybe they have another bomb. Who
no,
knows?
not only that, I'm not sure how for okay, wow, this technology is crazy nowadays. And this feels okay. I don't want to before we do this. If you don't want any spoilers for what could potentially happen in the battle, then just click away for the second. But they found a gap in the wall here, and I
Yeah.
wonder, with Helm's Deep back in the day, they went run through that vent, blew it open. If something similar on that level looks like what's in that
Maybe
battle
Arondir
here.
can actually kill the Orc this time
But
around.
one day he's got one day like up here somewhere, just right here, just trying to kill the orcs. That'll
Trying
be
to kill it,
uh,
yeah.
hmm That would be, oh my god, that would be hilarious. But yeah, now I feel like we are going. One thing, let's before we wrap up, there's some more interesting stuff in the world of Lord of the Rings and Tolkien. Tales of the Shire, new trailer for that. That's coming out very soon. Um, their game's looking really, really exciting, and yeah, they've got the trailer coming out in 3 days from now. So yeah, any of you want to comment on this game? Any of you heard about it so far? Excited?
Very excited. I think
Yeah.
I'll escape into it. Seems like what I heard is it's kind of like Animal Crossing potentially.
Mm-hmm.
And if that's the
Yep.
case, I could use one of those games right now.
100%. 100%. Um, so yeah, it'll be interesting to see that trailer come out and everything with that. So yeah, very excited to see this, and also seeing how what other people are doing within the Rings of Power universe. Bear McCreary, great person. He's got his new single called The Singularity that's out, and it's with Slash, who you don't know, they're massive. So yeah, congrats to him. Can't wait to have a listen to that. So yeah, Bear McCreary, and from what I understand, that's all going well with the score for season 2 as well. So yeah, looking forward to the new themes that we'll get. So yeah, make sure to check out Bear McCreary's This Singularity. I've heard it's like 11 minutes or something. Oh, it's actually coming out May 10th, in fact. So yeah, that is quite exciting. And Now going outside of um, the realm of Tolkien, just for a little bit, let us know in chat who's been watching Fallout. Have any of you in chat watched in the panel watched Fallout? Because from what
I
I've heard, it's been terrific. Go ahead.
I'm halfway through it right now, and I
Oh,
love it. It's so good.
what's the thoughts of it all being dropped at once? What was that like?
It's interesting. I'm on both sides of the fence for that because sometimes I'm impatient and want to binge something, but
Hmm.
it is kind of cool to have those cultural moments when you're everyone in the world's waiting for something to drop. So it is. I do
Yeah,
miss that. Like Game of Thrones, I would say did that right,
yeah.
where everyone was tuning in at the same time to watch it.
No, indeed, indeed. And from what I understand so far, season two will be released weekly. So um for that as well. But yep, Sarah has said, who's been quite active today, Fallout is perfect. That is great, great, great to hear. So yeah, let us know how Fallout has been for you guys. And there's also been some more news in the world of this, which is that, let me quickly go over to here. The Witcher has season 4 and season 5 coming out, but it will end with season 5. So yeah, anybody have any thoughts on The Witcher? Because for me personally, I it seems a bit out there, but I did really like season 1, even though it was confusing as shit. It once you after a few rewatches, it was a lot of fun. So, um, yep. And then season 2, season 3 start going a little bit down. I quite liked season 3 near the middle part, but after that, it's interesting to see how they're going with this now. Because originally it was meant to be 7 seasons. But yeah, Kathy, D, Ulmo, any thoughts on The Witcher?
Not really, because I stopped watching. Like
Yeah.
sometimes, like mid season two, they split the team that worked so well, and I was like, forget it, like yeah.
Hmm.
So and Fallout, I like the style is like the boys. I really like Lucy and Ghoul, but I don't like Brotherhood of the Steel and the Maximus. I don't like those characters. Like I like bathroom break for me.
Hmm.
So,
All good,
yeah.
all good. Um, Reflective Rambling says, oops, wrong one. That she didn't hate on the last 2 seasons, I believe, of The Witcher as much, but sorry, let me get it back up. Um, but I haven't read all the books. That is fair, fair, fair. So, um, I want to keep going to end up reaching 1,000 combined live viewers, but we'll save we'll save that goal for another day unless we get it out now. Donna said she really, sorry, Donna, really enjoyed Fallout. Was a little violent, but was great. That was awesome. But yeah, just want to say, as I think we'll end on, what should we end on? Let's find that set picture. Why not? Let's just end on this Feanor statue. What a nice way to end it. But first of all, of course, with everything over the last few weeks with HP fans, it's been a bit, with all the wrong scoop stuff like that, being a bit hard, and of course all other side things. But the fact coming back and having combined 980 live viewers, because this is the first ever time we tried streaming not only on YouTube, which I think has quite a bit, has on also on Twitter as well, engaging our audience on there, having 980 live people watching right now is really, really appreciate that. Appreciate everybody. And thanks for the support as well. And we'll end it on this. Different style on YouTube Ask, can you discuss about the news on marketing? Of course, I'm not saying I have any links or how to get information from marketing. I don't. But as I said, if we're going up, so this was season 1 release, down, 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 down. We're now at the point where we're going to start going back up again in Star. We're literally at, what's it called? This the crescendo, was it?
Yeah.
The trough.
No, the
But we're
other
going,
one.
yeah, yeah, but we're gonna start going up. as
Yeah.
well. And we're going to be start doing a lot more live streams again as well. So yeah, thank you, Effective Rambling. Love seeing all you in chat. And of course, these lovely people will always be here, but will also be the thing we do now is try recycling a lot of people. So Strider, Varkin, etc. Everybody will be, we'll try to get everybody on. And yeah, any final thoughts from everybody here today for the stream before we clock off?
Okay, so I'm going to give the final gift to our viewership because somebody asked the question if the scoop that Callum Lynch is playing Caliborn was true. So I don't want that question to go unanswered, and I'm going to choose my words really carefully. So we know that Callum Lynch auditioned for Caliborn. So I understand that Charlie Vickers auditioned for Halbrand. He didn't audition for Sauron. So, and auditioned also doesn't mean getting the part. So let's leave it at that. Callum Lynch
The
did audition for Caliborn, but beyond that, we'll see. Okay.
Kathy, that was um
That was
of course
amazing.
I've yeah, that's been also we have past 1,000 live views, and I'm not going to
Yeah,
comment on what Kathy said because um we're not going to add any more to that because
yeah.
I know
Audition. That's
no, not just for the audition, because of course we wouldn't run with Kelleborn being Cam Lynch if we just heard just that he had an audition. It was more than that, but
yeah,
again, the reason for us is we don't want to fall into Amazon's
yeah. It was
misinformation.
audition and it was a chemistry test, but
Yeah, no,
let's
but
skip to that. Yeah,
yeah, no, but I'm so what I'm trying to say is we didn't release the scoop just based off just that little bit. That was
yeah.
more
Of course,
than
yeah,
just that. But of course, we're not going to go into that. But because there is so much misinformation and
yeah.
not
But these
misinformation,
days
but
we are
the,
careful.
you know,
We are really getting
I
careful.
just that's what with all this Callum Lynch stuff, I just don't want to engage in it because again, it's just interesting. First of all, that of course we released Gavi Singchera Sauron in December. Then in we were the first ones to come out and say it's wrong. And then since then, all these other reports are coming out from various different sites outlets, and everybody somehow now decides, somehow has a scoop or like has apparently have knows knowledge of the show and stuff like that. But it's interesting that this is all coming out after we came out and said it was not true. Like that was a whole 4 other months to release that information and not wait for us. So it's interesting to see, now that not saying it just seems like a lot of people have information and stuff like that, and I just don't want to play into this. I'm not saying it's Amazon, by the way, like these are the top people, just production members. I don't want to play into their game of whatever. But I know that's Kat's opinion, but I'll let people know um because someone says you have so many leakers within the production team, why don't you get your hands on them? I don't. Marketing members, trust me, they are NDA'd so much worse than production members. So trust me, that is why it's really, really hard to ever get that, anyways. But yeah, all I want to say is that with this Callum Lynch whole stuff like that, there's a lot of information going around. I don't think anybody really actually knows 100%. That's why so much conflicting stuff is going out about it. We've said our piece in the past, and again, I like to reiterate, it's more than just, you know, more than just auditions that we heard about it. But again, it's interesting to see how that all ends up. But we'll leave that for we'll let everybody else in the community discuss that. We've said our share, and my advice would be just wait till not September, sorry. Wait till season 2 comes out later this year to find out what the answer to that is, because I just feel like entertaining that too much is going to end up doing that. But yes, yeah, we have no updates that we're going to share around Callum Lynch at all with the show. So yeah, I know we're gonna get asked a lot about that. But so yeah, just double check, Kathy, us in a we just confirm we didn't run with that scoop based off just hearing auditions. So yeah.
No. I mean, like that's for sure. Like I'm just saying that like now we have to like choose words carefully and
Yeah.
like be careful in general. So yeah,
Yeah, because of because of like
yeah.
how much conflicting information is coming out there. But you know, um, so yep, I think that's about it. We have over 1,000 people watching right now, so really, really appreciate that for the support. Again, of course, been a rough few weeks, but look at us, we're going stronger than ever. And I know people have always something to say about Fellowship of Fans or stuff like that. Might not be happy with it, but here we are, and yep, we'll continue. So and that's just about it from us. And again, oh, I definitely want to do this now. This always used to scare people. So um, I'm going to press the outro. I'm just giving you a warning now. And I think, yep, see you in the next one.